In this episode, we're going to go into detail. You're going to learn how to make a video explaining a topic. Most people overcomplicate educational videos. Some people think that they need to script every single word, and others try to cover everything they know on that subject in a single video. Then they assume that posting the video is enough. They think that people will automatically be able to find it and know what to do next. The truth is that these approaches always fall flat. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to structure a video that actually connects with your audience. Let's dive right in. So let's look at myth number one, that you actually need to script out every word of your video. Well, if the goal is connection, if you want to build a relationship with somebody, then it's better just to have a conversation. I mean, think about when you're having a one-on-one conversation with somebody, or maybe let's take it to FaceTime or Zoom. So you're having a conversation there. Imagine if you were reading from a script, right? That would turn it more into a presentation, not a conversation. And if you want to build a relationship, if you want to connect, if you want them to trust you, it's going to be better for you just to talk. So instead of scripting your videos, what if you were to outline your different talking points so you have some flow, you have some direction that you're going, but you could realize, that's the point I was going to cover next, and you talk about it because you know this stuff. Myth number two, explaining a topic means I should cover everything I know about it. Well, here's the good news, because I know you know a lot of information, right? You could write a book on this subject, but the mistake that a lot of people make is they make videos on really broad topics, like the title of your book or the title of a chapter. But within a chapter of a book, there are paragraphs, right? And you think about, well, what would be the headline for that paragraph? Or what would be the headline of this next one? Or the way that I look at it is in terms of questions. What's a really specific question that I answer in this chapter? Because what you can do is you can do research and you can find the very specific questions that your dream clients are asking when they go online. So if they're going to Google or ChatGPT or YouTube, there's a way that you can find out what specific questions they're asking. So instead of delivering the entire book in a single video, you can make a 10-minute episode that answers their specific question in great depth. And you make another episode that answers a different question in great depth. Myth number three, as long as I post the video, people will know what to do next. So maybe they're talking about a call to action. You don't need to really be clear about what your call to action is. And you might hope it's like, well, isn't it obvious? They'll just go to my website and find out how to hire me. If you're making a promo video, you're telling people what you do, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is these relationship building videos. So you don't promote yourself. You don't mention what you do or what your programs are. You obviously don't talk about pricing or what your packages look like. So you do need to let people know what to do. Now, if people who found you, typically they find this video through search, so they've never heard of you before, you're answering their question, so you're giving them a lot of great value, so there's a level of trust that's built. So do you go right into a sales pitch at the end of your video? No, we're going to take it step by step. So the thing that we do at the end of the video is we need to have them become a lead first. So we can offer them a free gift. Okay, we can offer them a PDF download that's going to help them implement what we just taught them. Or we can send them to a calculator where we can run numbers, or we can give them a free plus shipping book, or we can invite them to a live webinar. But if you were to do a test and you were to have two videos that were identical, one of them you're going to have no call to action, and the other video having a call to action, I guarantee that the one with the call to action is going to get more people to take that action. So here is a very simple format that I recommend that you follow in every one of your educational videos. In the beginning, you need to have hooks. Then you deliver your content that's not scripted, and then you have your call to action. Now, starting with a hook is way more important than introducing yourself, right? If the beginning of the video you start focusing on yourself, they're going to think, oh, I had a question, but this guy just wants to talk about himself, right? And who knows if they're going to use those exact words, but instead of them thinking, wow, this is exactly about what I was thinking. This is exactly what I was searching for. That's what you want. So you don't want to introduce yourself. When your dream clients are doing searches online, they're in a what's in it for me mindset, right? They're not searching for information about you or about a company or what you sell. They just have a challenge or a problem or a question that they want answered. So when they click on the video and they're in that mindset, we need to do something to get them to watch the whole 10-minute video. We need to set some hooks of curiosity. We need to let them know, all right, in this video, this is what I'm talking about. I'm going to share this, I'm going to share that secret, and I'm going to give you this solution. So let's dive right in. So they will then understand, okay, I did find the video I was looking for. It sounds like this guy knows what he's talking about, and it sounds like this 10 minutes is going to be worth my time. Now, in delivering the content, I want to go into a little bit more detail about the talking points versus a script. This is what I have 100% of my clients do. If they give me pushback because they said, but I've been using a teleprompter for 20 years, I'm really good at it, then what I'll say is, I'll tell you what, half the videos that you're going to film, let's use a teleprompter and let's do the other half my way. They eventually get it. They're able to transition from presentation to conversation. When you do it both side by side, it makes a very clear difference that the content delivery, using a teleprompter is a crutch. It does help with things. That's why people use it. That's why we have it, because it's helpful in several ways, but it's also hurtful in several ways. Now, when you're teaching, this is your content. This is your expertise. These are your stories. And so you don't need a script. You don't want to be in presentation mode. You don't want to use pretend good grammar. You want to use your real grammar. And when you're sharing a story, you don't want to share something that you're reading, but you want to tell the story from your memory and have the emotions be real. Now, the great thing is you're not delivering this live on stage, or this isn't a live stream, but you're hitting record on the camera and it's being edited later. So let's say you had 4 different bullet points as your main content. Here's how you do it. You look at your notes, you look at point number 1, and you think, all right, that's what I'm going to talk about first. So then you look back at the camera, your notes are set down, and you just talk about point number 1. You don't worry about what's going to come next because you know that you're going to intentionally pause. So you talk for a minute or 2 on point number 1, and then you pause, bring your notes back. Oh yeah, point number 2 is that. All right, I got it. And you deliver point number 2. Right, so you just continue like that, intentionally pausing between each point. That's the best way to be authentic and build a relationship in your video. Now let's talk about the call to action. And you're thinking, the purpose of the video is to teach, it's to educate. And don't I just have to do that? Well, the call to action is the way to best serve somebody. Because yes, you can teach, but do you really want to impact them in a positive way? Do you want them to implement the things that you've taught in this video? That's why coaches and consultants go into business, is they know that I can really help people. I've got great experiences, and I've got great experience of taking somebody by the hand and leading them to get these results. So even though you're answering this question in the video and now you think that they know the answer, well, they heard the answer and they see the truth in it and they value it, and now they trust you and they want somebody to help them implement it. And there are 2 different calls to action that you can give. Call to action number 1 is to have them go and watch another video that will help them take the next step. So they learned step 1 in the first video, now they'll learn step 2 in the second video. But what I don't want you to do is to give a call to action like that, like most YouTubers do. So here's what you're going to hear. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got another one I'll link to right there. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it, so go watch another video. Right? When it's generic and vague like that, no one's going to do that. But if you say, hey, now that you learned these principles, if you really want to apply them, I've created another video that's the perfect one you should watch next. The title is blank, right? Tell them the exact title of that video and tell them how they're going to benefit if they do go and watch that video next. Okay, so that's the first type of call to action. The second one is you're going to give them a free gift. So you taught them something in your video, and you might say, I've got a resource that I want to give you for free that's going to help you implement this. Go to the link that I put in the description below, or go to suchandsuch.com and you can get this free gift. So because you've built trust throughout this episode, now when they go to the website and they realize the value of this free gift, they'll give you their contact information. So you can continue to nurture them and even invite them to have a strategy session with you. So now I'll demonstrate by giving you a call to action in this video. So now that you know the ideal format for creating a video that starts with a hook, has a content that's not scripted, and then you have a call to action. The next question is, how do you get that video in front of the right people? So that's exactly what I cover in my next episode. It's called the Leaf Strategy, how to rank #1 on YouTube. What this strategy does is it helps you find the correct audience and make content that will automatically appear in front of the right people. So these are people who are searching for these answers, that's searching for your training or your information. So in the Leaf Strategy video, you'll learn how to get your videos ranking at the top of YouTube and ChatGPT for these people so that more of your dream clients will find that video. I'll see you there.